Hey everyone, this is Doug Jankowski with the Grizzled Geek, and I'm coming to you today with a Star Wars The Old Republic update on the release of patch 5.5, which is the start of the United Forces. I think they called it United Forces Foundation, where they start making the changes, Foundation, where they start making the changes necessary to roll out United Forces. First thing you're going to notice when you log in is that now you can only see 5 servers, because that's eventually that's going to be where it's at. Apparently now you can use the scroll, your mouse's scroll, to go down and find the other servers. So then let's go ahead and go ahead and head in, and I'll kind of take a look at all of the things that were implemented today. Some of it was backside, you won't be able to see, but some of it is very prevalent, very evident. So let's start off with just a few of the cosmetic things that we're going to be able to see right away when we get in. One of those is going to be as soon as you open your inventory, you're going to see some definite changes. They still haven't fixed this bug, which is, I'm well past that, but hey. Alright, so let's go ahead and get through all this and open up our inventory. And you'll notice they've changed it. Now the inventory, mission items, and currency is at the top. Not sure why they felt that change was necessary. But it's very easy to find. So you can click, here's mission items, click, here's currency. The unassembled components have not yet gone legacy-wide. I'm not sure exactly what phase those are supposed to go legacy-wide. I think it's when patch 5.6 comes out. Yeah, that's when in 5.6, November 28th, is when things like the unassembled components. Command tokens are already universal. Unassembled components will become universal. I'm not sure about IOCAS shards or the recon data, but anyways. Let's see, another not exactly cosmetic change. Well, here you also can see, I think you could do this already, sort by all this. You had all that already. They made some changes to the cartel market. Nice big thing that you can see. They made everything a little more evidence. You can search that. You can search by keywords now, which you couldn't before. You can instead of clicking on this, there was a column here of stuff that you could click on. Now it's on this drop down menu. You can see all, kind of makes everything small, probably a little harder to see, so it's probably easier to go, well, let's see what packs are available, and click through. Does look like they released the new Singularity pack, so I may buy some of those in a little while. And take a look at those, but not right now. Another thing we should, apparently my chat was off, you'll note when you log in, I'm going to go all the way back, that if you have reached command rank 300, you're going to get this achievement, commanding smuggler, commanding soldier, whatever it is, and you get 20 cartel coins for reaching that. So each character that reaches command rank 300, you're going to get this achievement for that class, as well as 20 cartel coins. So that's a nice little perk. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Legacy next. Apparently there was already, I wasn't paying attention to this leading up, there was already a Galactic Command perk. I'm not sure what you got for it, because there was also the individual character perk that you can improve command experience. You get an extra 2% per thing you open. But there was also another one here, which previously, not sure what it gave you. Now it gives every character who is under command rank 300 a 25% bonus, which can be combined up to 4 times. Now, something they weren't clear on ahead of time is that mirrored classes don't count. So if you have a knight and a warrior both at level 300, you're only getting a 25% bonus. You would need to get either a smuggler slash agent, a soldier slash bounty hunter, or an inquisitor slash sage or consular to 300 to get another 25% bonus. I'm gonna. This character's already command rank 300. At some point, maybe I'll stop recording at some point. Make sure that all of my command rank 300 guys have theirs unlocked, and then log into a lower level character and see. There was something online, and it was from one of the developers. I don't whether it was Keith or Eric. I'm not sure. Said that the experience from this was going to be retroactive. I believe because they increased the amount you're getting. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. So at some point I'm going to do that, probably towards the end of the video. So let's continue on. The next thing I'm pretty excited about is they updated the number of strongholds you have. So I'm going to go travel over to Odessin and collect my my next stronghold, the train from Umbara. Alright guys, here I am in the trading quarters in the Alliance staging area. So now I can go ahead and pick up the Umbara mobile base. I did already complete a bunch of, obviously I'm down in the trading quarter because you have to I think get 150 of the recon data. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase this stronghold, and let's go ahead and travel there and take a look. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to look like on each, but they've changed up the intro cinematics to each of the strongholds. I didn't really get the explanation of exactly what it was supposed to accomplish, but you'll be able to see all of the different things. There's actually going to be a terminal in each stronghold where you can rewatch the cinematic. And apparently it'll happen once per character, which I thought it already did. But then once that's done, you could rewatch it with this panel wherever it's at. Now in this Umbaran stronghold, this actually introduced the idea of the taxi within a stronghold to take you because this is a really long stronghold. It's not spread out like you move from a central point, you go to different places, and it's big but not a long walking distance. This one is, you've got to walk you enter at the back of the train, you have to walk to the front. So instead there's a speeder you can take all the way up to the front. So that's a interesting little item. While we're waiting for this cinematic and to kind of look at some of the changes they made there, they did change the dark versus light indicator, which is very interesting. It now will change every 90 minutes instead of every 30 minutes. But once somebody's in a state of winning, that state will last for 18 hours. So the side that's winning will be winning for 18 hours, and that will allow them to put together raids against planetary bosses and things like that. So here's the panel I was telling you about. You can click on this and watch the cinematic again. Theoretically, the cinematic will never play again for Drake Shelby when he comes to this train. I didn't ever think that was a problem except on guild ships, so I'm not, guild flagships, I'm not sure what the issue was. Alright, I'm not going to take a lot of time exploring this or whatnot, but now I have it open, so now you can see they did make the strongholds, you up the number you can have to 10. Now here, one thing I am curious about, because I am at 0% completion, obviously. Let's go see the effect that had on my conquest bonus. Nope, it stayed at 150, which is where the hard cap is. So once you have 6 fully decorated strongholds, you'll get your 150% stronghold bonus for your character, and that's it. So I could fully decorate this train and it won't affect that at all. Alright, let's go ahead and go look at the next thing, which is I'm going to go to, I believe, the Yavin 4 stronghold and check out the taxi service there. Alright folks, here we are at the Yavin 4 stronghold. If you've already got this, you'll know this is just a huge stronghold area. You've actually got this is the entrance area back here. This is the entrance to the temple. The temple has a bunch of rooms in it. And then there's a bunch of stuff behind it. Here it looks like we've got our taxi. Wasn't super obvious. You kind of had to be paying attention and know that it was there. So let's see where the speeder bike takes us. Alright, so you see you got the little areas that you can get to in the temple itself. Then the bridge comes over to this backside area. And then in this backside area it's got lots of room itself. I'm assuming if I click on that taxi, it's probably going to take me back to the front. So let's kind of play around up here. I'm guessing that's it. You know, that's as far as it takes. You just kind of skips from the beginning of the front to the beginning of the back, or you know, roughly the beginning of the back. So, I mean, that's cool. It does definitely, you know, because you'll see here, there's a lot. This is a huge stronghold. It's a fun stronghold. It's really cool. I would highly recommend, if you don't have it, get this stronghold and play around with it. It is a lot of fun to decorate. There's just, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hooks, and you know, there's a lot to play around with and to really kind of make it your own. This is going to be unique for just about anybody. So, okay. Actually, I mean, there were some class balance issues that were done. You know, they changed up what a few of the different classes. I don't remember off the top of my head which classes got upgrades or downgrades, as the case may be. They did change the Iocath areas. They gave some like a new achievement for players killed. You'll notice we've got the double XP, double CXP event going on, so definitely take advantage of that. Now, something they told us was going to be on this update that I didn't see in the patch notes was that there was going to be a new vendor in the fleet where you could buy customizations for opposite faction companions who have joined your alliance. They didn't mention that. They didn't mention the PvP bolster. They didn't mention any improvements to Galactic Starfighter. None of that was in the patch notes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording one more time, go to the fleet and check on that vendor, and then we'll call it for this episode. So give me one sec. Alright, one other thing that was mentioned in the patch notes of note here is that the daily bonus for the Galactic Command, I believe, has been changed from a 150 to 200% bonus. Alright. Oh, interesting. Light side victory. Oh, okay, this was already going, so you can see here the light side is in a victorious state. They have 16 more hours, 20 minutes, 46 seconds, whatever, to enjoy the benefits of that and I think the big reason they changed this was nobody was doing the dark versus light world bosses because nobody wanted to wait around with a group to wait for a victory state and then go after it. Now that this is a little more extended, maybe more people will, you know, team up to go after those world bosses and see the light versus dark world bosses. We'll see if that happens or not. I'm curious to do them. Unfortunately, I'm online very not infrequently, just unpredictably is probably the word I'm looking for here. Alright, I'm not seeing any new vendors. These are all the old cartel vendors. Here's the droid and beast vendors. There's a cantina vendor. Here we go. What's this? No. Oh, companion customization.
Take a look at the stock.
Yeah, there we go. So I can get Khalil, the Shad. Alright, so it is here. Just for some reason not in the patch notes. But yeah, they definitely, the companion customization vendor is here for you to shop at. Customizations aren't cheap, but they're not really, I don't think, that big a deal. 45,000 is not a terribly high amount, but that's cool. You can now if you are so inclined. I usually like the base people more than a lot of their customizations, but there we go. They're there if we need them. Alright guys, I'm going to call it there on this video. That kind of covers what has been changed at United Forces Foundation's patch 5.5. Alright guys, I want to tack on a little extra onto this video about patch 5.5 and address the huge controversy that's been stacking up around the Commanding Legacy perk. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. If you go to your Legacy tab and then click on Other, you can come down to the Galactic Command here and see your Commanding Legacy. This perk already, it's not a perk, I'm sorry, it's a legacy-wide, I guess they are perks, but it's a legacy-wide thing, it's not a character perk. This was already in existence. Let me start by going, you can see here on the screen all of the requirements for how this Commanding Legacy works. And the uproar right now is the bit at the bottom about each mirrored class not counting to getting up to the 4 times bonus. Basically, if you have a knight and a warrior who are both at 300, you only get a 25% bonus for that. So you have to get one for each mirror class, pair of classes. So you can get 25% for having a warrior and a warrior and a knight, for a bounty hunter and a trooper, for a smuggler and an agent, and for a sorcerer and a consular. Those pairs, they pair up. So if you had a consular and a sorcerer, both, much like the knight and the warrior, if they're both at 300, they only count once. That was not spelled out in the notes or in the map that Keith had given us. So a lot of people are furious about this. They're super upset. They're all like, this, you lied to us. You're just trying to get us to grind tons of extra characters. This is horrible. This is the worst thing ever. You need to undo this. There's just a lot of crap going on about this. Now here's the thing. I absolutely agree that the communication on this was horrible. Basically what happened here is this legacy perk already existed and gave you a 25% bonus to any character under command rank 300. That has not changed. So anybody who's upset about that, that's how it's always been. It was for characters 1 to level 299 got the 25% character bonus. So that's not a change they instituted. They're not, doing something to screw you over on that. That's always been there. The mirrored class was not really spelled out, or it wasn't addressed at all. It made it sound like any 4 characters you had at 300, they were going to stack up to get 100% bonus, which would have been a nifty little bonus to your characters, taking that Commanding Legacy perk that already existed from its 25% flat bonus that it was, and giving you the opportunity to increase that. That's cool. That's a nice little benefit. Essentially, if you already bought the Commanding Legacy perk, you get it for free. It was already unlocked. I had already unlocked it with this character. So when I came, did the patch, opened up the character, Commanding Legacy was already there, open. I didn't have to do anything new, so it's not like it's costing me extra money for this perk that is not as advertised. So, where do we go from there? What do we take away from that? I understand why people are angry. I think their anger is a little overblown. Yes, it is not as advertised. They left out a crucial detail. But that's, that is as it is. Whether they can change that or not, I think it's a good idea if they would. I don't know. Mechanically, people have made arguments on the forums that there are a lot of other ways that we differentiate between the different ones. In fact, when you log into a character who has reached 300, you get an achievement that tells you that that character class has reached that command rank 300 and gives them an achievement. So obviously the system can tell between the different classes. So I don't know what the reasoning was to add in that mirror class restriction. I also don't know what the developers thought was going to happen when you did not clearly enunciate exactly what people were going to get. Did they think people were going to miss it, not understand, or just kind of gloss over that? I don't know what they thought they had to gain by not telling people. If they told people about this up front, there would have been some grumbling. People like, well, why are you putting a restriction on it? Blah, blah, blah. But they would have known ahead of time. Now they pile more wood on the fire of, the developers always lie to us. They're, trying to sneak things in. They're trying to screw us over. And that doesn't help anybody. So, I really hope that kind of thing stops in the future. Just tell us outright. If you're going to do something that's got a restriction on it, tell us what the restriction is up front. That's fine. I understand that some things have to be restricted, or you restrict them because you want people to do certain things. This one doesn't really make any sense. Why do you care what people like to play? If one person wants to play a Jedi Knight, 9 different ways because there's 9 different possible builds for your character, why do you care? Let them do it, and don't restrict them. Don't penalize them for it. But, so I understand why people are frustrated. I think the frustration's a little overblown, and anybody who's, complaining about the fact that, oh, this only applies to lower level characters, why did you even, this is just stupid, blah, blah, blah. It's always only applied to lower level characters. They in no way, they didn't specifically say they weren't extending it to everyone, but they didn't, I'm confusing myself here. They never said they were extending it to everyone, but they never said they weren't. So a lot of people said because those words weren't in there that it was going to stay exactly as it is. Because really it was painted as a new perk, even though the perk already existed. They didn't say, we're expanding this perk you already have. They painted it as a new one, but it really wasn't. So there you go. That's my take on that controversy. I'd like to know how you guys all weigh in on that. Aside from that, what do you think of the changes to, overall? Did you notice any changes to Galactic Starfighter or any of the other things that, were mentioned in the roadmap but not in the notes, the patch notes for this? I'd like to hear from you on that. Are you still looking forward to the rest of the United Forces rollout, or has this soured you on this? Please comment below. Please like and share with your friends. Subscribe if you already haven't. Click that bell to get notices when I post new videos. Please check out some of our other content. Thank you all for tuning in. May the Force be with you, and you have fun playing Star Wars: The Old Republic.